Hi, welcome to my tutorial. First of all, you need a piece of paper to make a pattern, or just find the link of patterns in the description of this YouTube video. Basically, it is just a rectangle and you cut 4 corners. For this tutorial, I'm making a small mask. The rectangle is 9 inches wide and 7 inches for its length. I cut the corners as 2.4 times 2.4. Now let's cut the fabrics. Make sure you leave at least ½ inch for sewing edges. For the inner flannel, you can have one layer if you are using a filter or if you are making this for a kid. Inside I use organic cottons which I bought from the States long time ago. However, use any fabric you can find at home, even from a used t-shirt, as long as they are comfortable. Here is a bit tricky that we will need to have A and B, two parts, because later on we will make a pocket simply from this layer. First, we need to sew a tidy edge for the pocket. Life is much easier after this is done. Now, let us pile up the layers. The bottom one is inner, face down. You can have one or two. I recommend for the kids, it is harder to breathe through, or if you are sure you will use a filter, you may just need one layer here. Next is the outside layer. Please face up. The inside layer, which is the one right on your skin, it has two parts. You need to make sure the A and B, which have their perfect side facing down, and leave some of the overlap for 1/3 inch ideally. Before we draw the pattern, that I would like to recommend you use two pins to stabilize the overlapped area of part A and B beforehand. After the drawing of pattern on the fabric is done, let us start to sew. Hand sewing is fine if you don't have a sewing machine. Done. Let us cut the redundancy and make the edge looks great. You don't need this jigsaw type of scissors. I just like it because it does help to reduce lint later. It's time to turn the inside out. Just use the pocket to do the job. You may continue to sew the white line by the edge, which is called French seaming, to make the mask elegant and sturdy, or iron it during this time. However, without these procedures, the masks can still be functionally fine and fitting. Here is your neat mask. Before we shape it, we need to sew a line where we can insert the nose clip in. Please align your top edge by 3/4 inch or 2 centimeters. The way I make the nose clip is simply to use a wire of 5 or 6 inches, fold in half, and find some batting fabric to wrap it over, like rolling a cigarette in the old days. You can use a glue gun to seal it or hand sewing. A tip here is to use a thick straw or a spool from a used thread. Insert the nose clip into the spool first, and it helps to install the clip easier. Of course, you may sew it in from the previous step. It's all good. Now we are almost there. Let us shape the mask. First, find the center line and fold it in half. You may overlap a little bit if you are making the mask for the people with higher bridge of nose. You fold half inch from both sides, right and left. Secure them with pins or clips. Let us sew the corners. I recommend you to do some backward sewing on those two red lines to secure the masks from wearing and tearing. Okay, let's check what we have done so far. Not bad at all. Next step is a bit tricky. Please pay attention. Three key points to complete this shaping. First, fold the side up. Second, find the half, midpoint, and align the edge by the side. It is better to use a pin to secure the fabric before sewing. Let us fold and pin up all four corners. I have found it is easier to sew from the outside. Please make sure you slow down and do backward sewing on the thickest spots. Ta-da! Let us check, and we are done with all the sewing. Ah, we are missing the rings. For the rings, we can either use elastic strings or make your fabric strings from residual fabric pieces. I found the hairpin is very easy to use than the tweezer, but if you are a pro, you can also sew the strings during the earlier step. If you are happy about the length of rings, tie them up and hide the knots. Are we there yet? Just a last reminder that we can insert a better filter into the mask. Like I'm using a surgical mask and only washing the fabric mask. Remember, the masks are not virus proof unless you use proper filter. No matter what, wearing a mask can reduce the distance your droplet flies or keep you less touching your face or may reduce your eating desires, believe it or not. I have included a link of my patterns of 4 sizes and also an article regarding cloth or fabric masks in my comment area. Should you have more inquiries, you may contact me via email at ulalafinearts, WULALAFINEARTS at outlook.com. Keep safe and healthy. Have fun. Thank you.